so you'll have more than enough time to put them away. But if you're feeling adventurous.
Alrighty, is everybody all set?
Yes!
Here we go! Woo! Now when I say I've been working here since I was 14, I've been working in the kitchen. This is my first time rafting, guys. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna bump into this rock a little bit so we can get a nice little spin. That's called Table Rock. Now we've been launching boats off Table Rock since 1870. To be honest though, that's not really true. We've been actually launching boats where the adventure course begins. That's where we first started. And when we started, we actually had these 10-foot long wooden canoes. They weighed about a ton each. Boink. Now, of course, we did not lug those boats by hand. If you were noticing the concrete slabs on the right of us with the poles sticking out, that was actually part of a cable system that we had here. And that cable system ran all the way through the chasm. And if you notice, the cables are not here anymore. Why is that? Well, we had a big old storm here in 1996. The water level rose to be about 45,000 cubic feet per second, which was about halfway up to that bridge, and it destroyed the entire cable system. So we upgraded into these inflatable rafts that you guys are in right now. Pretty cool, huh? Now that bridge is called the Grand Flume Bridge. It stands about 110 feet from where we are right now. Now let me tell you one thing, guys. In 1996, that wasn't even the biggest flood that we've experienced here. Very recent, in 2011, we had Hurricane Irene. Any guys remember Hurricane Irene? Oh, we sure remember her too. She rose the water level to an all-time high of 95,000 cubic feet per second. Now 95,000, that's about 10 feet below that bridge. So you can imagine we did not do any raft rides that day. We'd probably have a survival rate of 0%, so we decided not to do it. Now right here, what we're entering is the Grand Flume. The Grand Flume is the deepest section of the Ausable Chasm. It's about 60 to 70 feet deep here, and it's also the narrowest section of the chasm. It's about 10 to 12 feet wide here. Now, in this spot, you can admire the layers here in the rocks, and just see how nice they are and how cool they are. Now each layer, because this is Potsdam sandstone, it is about 10,000 years old.
Wow.
Now once we get to the beach here, you'll see the process which happens to make sandstone. Water rises in the wintertime when the snow melts, and then sediments just keep following through the water, and the sediments just lay on top, right on the rock that's there, and it just keeps compacting, creating this sandstone that you're seeing. Now if we all look to our right coming up, look directly right now. Look at this spot right here. This is called the Sentry Box. This is an old dried up waterfall. It dried up approximately, I cannot say, probably about 10,000 years from now. There used to be a nice little waterfall there, and a nice little waterfall here to our left. Now, this waterfall was actually pretty cool, because what happened here, you see that rock to the left? When that waterfall dried up and the water that was left over in the wintertime got between the rock right there, it actually froze it and expanded the rock to the right. So it just threw it on top right there. We call that the broken needle, because the water threaded through the rock like a needle, then wintertime froze and broke the rock right on over. Now the only thing holding that rock up is a stick. I put it there this morning to make sure it didn't fall over. So we're all safe, okay guys? And right here to our right is the last remaining part of the pulley system. That helped us, get our rafts right on out and right on up the river. And this is the original ending of the raft tour. If you're noticing all these little metal hooks to the right in the rocks, you'll see these little hooks. The tour would end right over here. And people would walk along the edge here and go to that little platform where you see that picnic table. Now, of course, as you can see, guys, we are approaching rapids. I would like everybody, please tuck in your feet, grab the black straps. And I hope you guys signed those waivers, right? Perfect. Oh, you want to grab the tee? Grab the tee, tight grip. Just paddle forward. Get it deep in, paddle.
Hold it for mommy.
You guys ready? I hope so. We're almost there. Woo-hoo! Here we go. Yeah! You don't have to paddle more. Hang on a second. Paddle more. Let's speak proper English here. Okay, come on, spin, spin, spin. All right, we made it. I see all 7 heads. Perfect, first time all year. Now those rapids, folks, they're at a whopping class 1 out of 6. Yeah, they're not too crazy. I give them a little too much more height than what they are. So we're going to have a nice little view of the rapids. Wow, we made it through that?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Now what we're entering after the rapids is the Whirlpool Basin. Now the Whirlpool Basin isn't too crazy at the moment, but the rapids are giving us a little twirl. The Whirlpool Basin is the second deepest section of the Ausable Chasm. It's just 5 feet less than the Grand Basin, in the Grand Flume, I'm sorry. Now I'm gonna give us a little spin around here because this is a pretty cool spot here. When the water gets to be about 10,000 cubic feet per second, the rapids will actually rise up about 10 to 12 feet or so, and the water will hit up against this rock side to our right. You guys see this little wall behind us? This wall will actually create the whirlpool, because then the water will turn into a counterclockwise motion and creating what we see here. Now if you notice in the Whirlpool Basin, the rocks here are a nice little circular shape. You see how it looks like we're in a punch bowl here? It's because the whirlpool, when it's in action, just carves and carves away. I'm gonna paddle forward a bit. Now if we look to our right, you guys see those trees on the ledges? Look directly right. Now those trees did not fall off right there actually. What happened was some trees got washed into the Whirlpool Basin and did a little bit of a backwards toilet effect. The trees would get sucked on in and then shot right back out. So they landed right on top of that edge. Whew. Now I'm giving this a nice little spin so you guys can get a nice picture of the Whirlpool Basin. Now during some days we do of course get some wildlife here in the chasm. In the water you'll see many different types of fish. You'll see like trout, smallmouth bass, sometimes carp. Once in a while actually if we're lucky we get salmon here, but not too really often. But as opposed to out of the water, we do get animals like beavers, otters, deer, raccoons, foxes. We had a bear sighting a couple years ago, actually. I had to scare it off. They gave me a paddle and said, Damo, you're the biggest guy here. No, that didn't happen. But no, we had to close off the trails for a bit because the bear was just hanging around, eating in the garbages. So we had to call animal control. It was definitely a scary time. but it was also interesting at the same time. And we also had a second bear sighting. At the end of the ride, you'll see a big old basin and some woods and all that fun stuff. And there was a nice little bear just hanging out with his cub, and they were trying to go fishing. And with the otters, when the otters come around here, they like to swim around the boats and say hi to people. They poke their heads up, and you can put your hand in the water and they'll swim up to you. They're just like dogs, they just love attention. Now here to our left, if you guys see this tree with the holes drilled into it, my boss told me, Damo, you should go look busy somewhere. So he gave me a drill and I just put some holes there. Nah, of course not, I didn't do that. That's actually from a northern pylon woodpecker. A pileated woodpecker, I'm sorry. It's a black and white bird with a red head. And it just drills and drills and makes a hole. It takes about 24 hours to make a single hole in that tree. And that's where they feed, or even make a home for themselves. Now let's look to our right, guys. You see up and top to our right. Do you see these trees here? What's happening? These trees are upside down, right?
Yeah.
How's that? Well, they're growing upside down because they don't get the sufficient sunlight during, regular hours throughout the day. The only time they really get sunlight is between the hours of like 12 and 2 p.m. That's because the sun will actually reflect off this water and feed those trees right there. So they're reaching down towards the water and trying to get that sunlight they need to survive. This is called phototropism. Now directly in front of us, you'll see a triangle shape into the rocks. You guys see that? That triangle shape is an active fault line. This fault line is active from here to Quebec, well, Montreal mostly, which isn't Quebec, to Washington, D.C. This is one of the largest fronts on the East Coast. On the left side is the Canadian tectonic plate, and then on the right side is the Northern Adirondack tectonic plate. What's happening is the left side is diverging into the right side, so it's going at a downward angle, forcing the rock on the right side to come on up. So eventually with that fault line being there, it moves up about 2 centimeters every year. So if you guys want to fast forward a couple million years from now, we'll have a nice little mountain for you to climb if you'd like. I don't know what our currency is going to be in those days, but hopefully your great times that by like about 30,000 great grandkids will enjoy that. And also, you guys see how there's 2 rivers here?
Yeah.
Look at this. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys, what river do you think is the original river? The one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the left?
Left.
Oh,
It's island, no?
it is an island, but that island was not there before 2011. The island to the river to the left is actually not the original river. Believe it or not, the river to the right is. Now, when Irene came through, like I said, the water levels were at 95,000 cubic feet per second. So if you're looking at these trees, you guys see some bark chunks missing out of them? That's how high the water got. We're gonna have a nice little semi-dry exit.
I tu su oni,
You have